Okay, fine. Next, let's configure a tunnel interface having that IP address which we want for tunnel interface. Okay, so I'll go to tunnel. Let's add, and you can give a number. It's not necessary to keep the same number on both ends of tunnel. Okay, you can assign it to virtual router security zone. Let's make it a VPN, a separate zone. Okay, and then we can define an IP like 10.0.3.1/24. Also, we can specify the management interface. Management profile if you want. Okay, so I've assigned accordingly. Okay. Now, once you have the IKE gateway and tunnel interface, you go and configure a IPsec tunnel. Okay. And here you define, when you click add, you basically combine and bridge everything. Okay. Let's give it a name. Which tunnel interface are we going to use? This, which we just created. Which IKE gateway we are going to use? With the one which we just created. And like I told you, there is, for phase 2, there is IPsec crypto profile. So you choose this. Okay. Now these are two separate profiles here. Okay. I'm just using the pre-built. Okay. Fine. Now you can have tunnel monitor configuration in which you mention destination IP. It is going to keep on probing and check if you want, if you have multiple options and if you want to fall back on the other method or other tunnel interface, if one fails, then you need that. Okay. In our case, we just have one, so I'll not configure tunnel tunnel monitor. Okay, let's commit the configuration on this side, and also we'll need to configure a static route pointing to this subnet, because see, this firewall knows about this subnet. It basically doesn't have any information for this 10.0.2.0 subnet. So what you can do is you can go to the virtual router and configure a static route pointing to the tunnel interface for that. Let's do the routing as well. If you are running already a routing protocol, then you don't need this step, because they'll automatically form all the neighbor relationships in there. Okay, so give it some name and specify destination as 10.0.2.0/24. Interface will be tunnel 1. Okay, and next hop IP will be 10.0.3.2, which we'll assign to the other firewall. Okay, let's push commit and do a similar configuration. Configuration is easy. The thing is, like, we need to understand how it is working. That's a little bit complicated. I'm just showing you configuration before, so that you can easily relate when I talk about this IKE crypto, IPsec crypto. Okay. So again, I'll go to network here. We have these profiles pre-built. Let's configure IKE gateway.
Sudhanshu, in a peer address, we have option dynamic. So what is used for this?
This I never tried.
Okay.
Let's check what they say in the help. I never felt the need to try it because most of the times you just enter the IP address, or worst, you can enter the fully qualified domain name.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, in case of dynamic, what you are saying is you uh, you don't know the IP address or FQDN. So whosoever establishes or tries to establish it with this pre-shared key, it's going to establish. Okay, so IP address is not static, because see here, when the one who initiates needs to know about the other one. Like Palo Alto 1 needs to know about the IP address of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Palo Alto 2 will not know about the Palo Alto 1's IP address. Whosoever tries to establish a VPN tunnel with it, it's going to work. See here.
So how it will establish the connection?
It's just going to identify based on the pre-shared key. You see, read here. Dynamic. Select this option if pair IP address or FQDN is unknown. When the pair IP address type is dynamic, it is up to the pair to be initiated the IKE negotiation. So if suppose I do it on this end like this, then Palo Alto 2 can never initiate a negotiation for site-to-site VPN. Palo Alto 1 will always initiate the negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So is it secure if we configure?
I don't think so. It's best to mention exact IP address.
Yes.
Because if you do this, anybody knowing the pre-shared key could establish a site-to-site VPN with this.
Yes. So why it is option is
But
there?
see, it's like there is an option. Okay, if you want to kill yourself, you can, right? It's like it's not necessary that if you have a rat poison in your home that you have to eat it. Okay, so local IP address on Ethernet 200.1. Like that's why I never paid attention to this, because I never realized like why would I need this. So 100.0.0.1. Okay, that's this side. And pre-shared key, we use Cisco just to mock Palo Alto. In the advanced options, let's select IKE Crypto, the pre-built ones.
And one more thing, we have in advanced options. Please open. It's a shows passive option. Enable the passive mode.
Mm-hmm.
So what is used for this? Passive mode means
See,
the remote. Yes. What?
it's like who negotiates. Okay, let me show you from here rather than it's under the advanced options tab. Okay, see, if you want that firewall 2 should never initiate, should always respond, read here. Click to have firewall only respond to IKE connections and never initiate. Okay, so it will never initiate. It will wait for the other party to initiate.
Like make the like a server or client.
not server client, because here it's a peer-to-peer mechanism. But the point is, if you enable this, suppose suppose there is no VPN, uh, like established. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if this guy initiates a connection, it won't initiate with other party a connection. The other party has to initiate a connection. It's like who initiates and who responds. So if you check this checkbox, it will always respond but never initiate a connection.
Okay. That means it will always wait for the
Other
connection.
party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the other party. Yes.
Okay. So let's configure the tunnel interface here as well. Now I'm keeping the tunnel number same, but you can keep it different. Ideally, you will keep it same for network engineers, less CPU utilization. Okay. Fine. So IP address here is 10.0.3.2. Fine, let's create the IPsec tunnel.
Mama, mama, bawa ke mama. Ama channel ke mama. Ama kare
Tunnel
je.
interface will be this.
Normal हो गया.
Okay, gateway.
एक रात में वही.
IPsec crypto. I'll use this one.
जो लगाए थे वही है. normal exam लेके.
And done. Also, let's go to virtual router. And configure that static route. Not it. Done. 10.0.3.1. Okay, let's commit the configuration. Okay, let's configure VPC 5 with the IP address 10.0.2.11/24 and gateway is 10.0. Okay. So see, if I try to ping 10.0.1.11, it should work out. If all of the VPN configuration is okay. And you can see it in the system logs here that IKE phase 1 negotiation is started as an initiator, main mode initiator. And either I have some misconfiguration somewhere. Sorry, why am I giving /24 here? Okay, fine, it's taking up automatically there. Negotiation is failed as a responder. I think we have a pre-shared key mismatch. Maybe the caps lock was on. Let me check. Okay, fine. So you can see it from the system logs. It's okay. So let's go back to this IKE gateway. And configure the pre-shared key again. Cisco. Okay. Let's push commit here. And let's go back to the VPN. Not VPN tunnel, the IKE gateway. Okay, so it succeeded. Load phase 2 succeeded. Now it should work. Okay. Okay. So VPN configuration is working fine. And you can also verify that by going to network and IP signals. This is turned green now. Earlier it was red. Okay. So most of the times, I think if you have done some misconfiguration, you should be able to see it from the system log. Okay. Okay. See now, since you have seen these, you will easily understand. That's why I showed you the configuration. Like, okay, what are the things that you need? You need an IKE gateway. You need a tunnel interface. Okay, you can set up tunnel monitoring. That's optional. And you need IKE for VPN, IKE v2. Okay. Now, IKE gateway, what is it? IKE gateway is Palo Alto firewall or another security device that will initiate or terminate VPN connection. Okay, you got that right? Because we mentioned the local IP and the pair IP in the IKE gateway. To set up VPN tunnel and send traffic between IKE gateways, each pair must have a IP address, either static or dynamic. If they have dynamic, you know what it means. Or you could use FQDN. Most of the times you will go for static one. Okay, these are less used. Okay. VPN pairs use pre-shared key. They must match, or you can use certificates to authenticate each other. Okay. Now they negotiate a mode. Okay, and there are two options here. One is a main mode, another is aggressive. Okay, what's the difference? In easy words, I'll tell you. In main mode, all the things that need to be exchanged between the two firewalls are exchanged with more number of messages. Okay, in main mode. Okay, I'm just telling you in short. Whereas in aggressive mode, what happens is a lot of these messages are combined and sent at once. So obviously, compared to main mode or aggressive mode, the aggressive mode will send lesser number of messages. But it makes more sense, or it is more secure to have main mode rather than aggressive mode. Okay, see, main mode protects the identity of pairs and is more secure because more packets are exchanged when setting up a tunnel. Compared to that, there is aggressive mode. In this, you send a lot of things in one message, so obviously there will be lesser messages sent. Okay, so it's faster, but at the same time, it's less secure option. Okay, main mode is recommended if both pairs support it, because people say it's faster, but it won't matter much for seconds, like okay. So that was IKE gateway which we configured. And if you go here, okay, let's leave that out. Not right now. Second thing you set up is tunnel interface, which we just configured, and it's a layer 3 interface. Okay, and each end must have a logical tunnel interface for firewall to connect. So this is that. Okay, it belongs to a security zone. Commonly, you will put it in another zone, like we did it in VPN zone. Okay, now we need to define the security policies. We haven't defined the security policies properly till now. Okay, currently we have allowed everything, but I'll show you via app ID like what things you can mention, you know, for a specific security policy to allow only VPN things and from the other party. Okay. Now it must be assigned to a virtual router, which we did. Okay, and ensure that a virtual router and physical interface are assigned to the same virtual router, because or else there will be routing issues. Okay. So typically the layer 3 interface, the tunnel interface, belongs to an exchange zone. Okay. But now it's not necessary to have it as an exchange zone. You could name it like we named VPN. Okay. Now we created a separate zone rather than having inside. Okay. Because once you have the zones, okay, properly defined, like VPN zone, then you can easily define what things to allow from VPN to inside and inside to VPN. You might not want certain things to be from app ID perspective, or something other things not allowed. So preferably make a separate zone. Okay, if you create a separate zone, say a VPN zone, you will need to create security policies, obvious, to flow traffic between the VPN zone and trust, or you could call it a inside zone, doesn't matter. Now, like I was telling you, tunnel monitoring can be done. You can check connectivity continuously by doing a ping. Okay, and if that connectivity fails, okay, then you could fall back to some other tunnel or some other VPN pair. Okay, so you can specify at what interval, how frequently you want it to ping to the monitored IP address. Okay. If destination IP is unreachable, firewall will wait for the tunnel recover or configure automatic failover to another tunnel. Okay. So the way it works is like, you go show advanced options. Here you have tunnel monitor. You mention the destination IP, and you can define the monitor profile. Okay. This monitor profile defines whether you want to wait and recover or whether you want failover to happen. Okay. So if destination IP is unreachable, you can either configure firewall to wait for it to recover or configure failover. Okay. There will be a system log generated that alerts you. Okay. Then for IKE, like I told you, you can have pre-shared keys or certificate. Okay. And the IKE process happens in two phases, IKE phase 1 and IKE phase 2. Okay. And each of these phases defines certain things which are checked and saw whether they are matched to the other end of the firewall, to the other pair or not. Okay. Now, when they match and everything goes well, they say that a security association has been formed. Okay. And security association is basically a mutually agreed upon these keys, like you saw here. Okay, and you saw that they exchange this keys. Okay, like it's not showing here right now. Yeah, here it is. Okay, installed key, security size. Okay. So now the IKE process. Okay, what happens here is like, suppose firewall A and firewall B wants to establish a VPN tunnel with each other, or side-to-side VPN. Firewall A or firewall B will first authenticate with each other. They can do that using either pre-shared key or they can do that using a certificate, depends on them, doesn't matter. Now, once they have that, what they do is they use this Diffie-Hellman, okay, and Diffie-Hellman generates a public key and private key, okay, a key pair for firewall B, and similarly a private key and a public key pair is generated for the firewall A. Now, what happens is you give the public key to the other party and you take their public key. Okay. This is what they use to generate a shared secret DH key, which they keep on changing. Okay, like it's not like always going to be same. Okay, so once they generate the shared secret DH key, they exchange these. Okay, and this key is then used to encrypt the actual data. Okay, now see here. You can read this again from PAN-OS admin guide, like I always recommend at the end of class. You can again go to PAN-OS admin guide, and I'll show you where you can read it in detail from. Okay, if you go to VPNs, Here you can go to site VPN overview concepts, and it's again just around 30 pages or so. So here they discuss iGateway, tunnel interface. Like I've just included some parts, but you can have even more information from here. Okay. So what happens in Ike phase 1, very detailed here. Okay. What happens in Ike phase 2? Now, see, Ike phase 1, this is which we did based on Ike crypto profile. So it uses this phase, and it supports use of pre-shared keys or digital certificates, because this phase is about authenticating the VPN pair, because you don't want to establish VPN with somebody who is not legitimate. Okay, so what iCrypto profile will define is, it will define a Diffie-Hellman group. We saw that already here. Like, go to network. You define a Diffie-Hellman group, you define encryption, define authentication. So Diffie-Hellman group is used. Just a second.
Hello.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I was telling you, that for Ike crypto profile, we define Diffie-Hellman group, and this group or this configuration is used to generate those symmetrical keys like we saw in this previous slide. Okay. They dynamically keep on generating these keys. Okay. And then there is authentication algorithms which we define. Okay. Depending upon if you feel like SHA-384 is less secure, I want more, you can go for SHA-512. Okay, it's up to you. And then you define encryption algorithm. Okay. Now there are some which less people consider for their environment, but this is one of the most secure you can have. AES 256, you cannot have more than this. So, like I was telling you, Ike phase 1, what is the job of it? It identifies endpoints of VPN, okay, like who are the people who want to establish the VPN, and then sets up a secure control channel between them. Okay, you could use the public IP or domain name as pair ID. Okay, like we informed firewall 1 about firewall 2 and firewall 2 about firewall 1. So there are 3 settings: main, aggressive, and auto. 3 modes. Okay, and there are 5 pieces. These are the things that are exchanged during Ike phase 1. Okay, authentication method, Diffie-Hellman key, the symmetric key algorithm, hashing algorithm, and lifetime. Okay, and then like these are generally good to remember for interview point of view. Okay, like you see, we didn't require to modify it for just configuration. Okay, but some of the times people ask like what things are exchanged during Ike phase 1 and like that. So okay, so in the Ike phase 2, once the tunnel is secured and authenticated, the channel or the connection between the 2 pairs is further secured for transfer. Okay, so the actual data for securing and for encryption, okay, that is defined by Ike phase 2, because you saw that in here when you define this IPsec tunnel, this is where we combine all this configuration. This is where we brought in IK gateway, right? And this is where we brought in IPsec crypto, Ike phase 2, and then it exchanged following things like which protocol to use the to encrypt the packet. Okay, like there is ESP. Okay, in here if you go to this IPsec crypto, okay, there is for IPsec protocol we didn't use AH, we used ESP. Okay, and what's the difference between them? Okay, ESP encrypts the entire IP packet, means the payload and the header, everything. Okay, now authentication header, it will authenticate the source of packet and verifies data integrity, but it does not encrypt data payload. So basically the payload of packet is uh, left as it is. Okay. Commonly this method, authentication header, is used where you just want to verify the identity of the other side. You're not concerned about the data privacy. Okay, but where you are concerned really about the data privacy, then because you want the whole payload to be encrypted, then you use ESP. Okay, Now, like I was telling you, IKE phase 2 creates the tunnels that will encapsulate the data traffic. Okay, actually here it should have been this, not 10.0.2.0. Okay, and IKE phase 1 was concerned with just verifying and authenticating the endpoint. Okay. Each side of the tunnel has a proxy ID to verify who it is expecting to receive from and who it will be sending traffic to. Okay. Now, these are the things that are exchanged during IKE phase 2. Now, I already explained to you that route-based VPN is when you send traffic from suppose destination this, it checks the routing table, and routing table, since it's pointing to tunnel.1, then it's sending it through the IPsec tunnel. Actually, the traffic goes through the public IP, but you know, okay. So we already discussed this. A route lookup function basically decides appropriate tunnel when a packet comes to firewall. Okay. In this case, you need to have understanding of the topology. Okay. And each tunnel is bound to a tunnel interface. Okay. And for one tunnel interface, you can have 10 IPsec tunnels. Okay, that's the maximum. This is IPsec tunnel. You can have 10 such pointing to the same tunnel interface. Okay, not more than that. And this is also a question which I found in the certification exam. So make sure you remember this. Okay, so simple. Traffic comes, IKE crypto profile is used in IKE gateway, and then IKE gateway will utilize a particular Ethernet port, the physical connection, to establish the VPN tunnel. The same virtual router will be on the physical port and on the tunnel interface. Okay. You can have them in different zones. You can have them this in VPN zone, this in outside zone, doesn't matter. Okay. Then IPsec crypto profile actually points it to the tunnel, and that's how we configured phase 1 objects. That was IKE crypto profile. Phase 2 objects, that was IPsec crypto profile, and we configured routing and security rules and made sure it worked. Okay. So this is another example. It's coming straight from PAN-OS admin guide. You can look at it from there. Okay. Now they have given you an example like what things you need to configure for configuring site-to-site VPN with static routing, and these are the configuration steps. Okay, which we did.
Sudhanshu, if we have created any interface tunnel, suppose tunnel 1, okay, so we can provide we can provide the same tunnel information in 2 IPsec site to site.
Yeah, you can.
But how it will segregate the data if we transfer?
See, it's not about that. It's about like if you want multiple IPsec tunnels between these two firewalls. See, what did IPsec tunnel define? did it define any of these
Yes,
local or internal source tunnel destination? No, that was defined by IP gateway.
yes, we have configured tunnel interface tunnel dot one, right?
Yeah,
And tunnel is got up. Another
yeah.
tunnel we have created, and the same thing we have selected the like tunnel dot one. So so,
Mhm.
so the both side it will create, right? And tunnel
Yes.
got up. But when we traffic the data, and
Mhm.
we suppose we are trying to send the
See,
data to another
when
one.
you see, if you look at this, mm,
Just click maximize button, right side. Yes.
no, but it's not showing the thing that I was. Okay, what I mean is like, see,
होने पर सतो में पनिया पड़ता तो पहना दे ले रही था तू छिले ले
they
में
have these, security parameter indexes to, separate
क्या हो लगाया तो वे लगाइले
multiple IPsec tunnels. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
अभी खा पी के
like
नी
in order to identify these separately, because if even if suppose I have another IPsec tunnel, okay, when I mention all that and utilize the same tunnel dot one,
Mm-hmm.
the tunnel source and destination is defined based on this, right? It's not necessary to use same.
रसगुल्ला खाई में को रहा सनी जी के कौन के
But
पिंगुआ
security
कौन
association.
नहीं किए
Okay.
रात में
See,
हाँ
it's
कौन
like
नहीं
this.
लड़ाई करी
When they exchange these things initially, when they establish the type phase 1 and phase 2, when they negotiate, they generate these things to identify each other. Like you see, the cookie is generated here. Okay, a security parameter index is generated here. Okay, these
Actually,
things help you to identify all of these IPsec tunnels separately. Like they are, you are thinking it from a physical point of view.
हाँ तो रात में अलग भी वीडियो कॉल कर ले रहे हैं
Don't think about it from a physical point of view.
बतिया वाला
actually, I have created the same thing, but when I create the second one, so tunnel is not getting up, or also data is not transferring from the first tunnel. I tried the second time to create the another tunnel interface. Then it was working.
See, you might have messed up some configuration which you, because uh, it's not like you cannot do this. Okay, it's even in the official. Like if you are trying to imply that it's it, does it really work with 10 IPsec tunnels pointed to the same tunnel interface? Yes, it works. That's what they say officially here.
Maybe,
But anyway,
yes, maybe I forgot
so
any.
there must be some misconfiguration at your end. Okay.
But I had mentioned in a notepad and just copy and paste, and I did this configuration.
See, sometimes uh,
So
you
I was thinking if something
you might
like.
have copied and pasted, but sometimes just like I was telling you, okay, when I was configuring the static route here, okay, on the second firewall, if you noticed, I was about to point this second firewall. Let me show you it. When I went to this firewall, okay, I'm just giving you, like, sometimes silly mistake happens. Okay, I was about to make it.
Mhm.
When I was configuring this virtual router for static route pointing to 10.0.1.0, instead of mentioning this, I was about to mention this. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, if I do this, will it work? No, right?
Right.
It has to go through tunnel interface. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you make some, even while you're copying pasting, you might make some very silly mistake, which because your mind is a little bit here or there. So I'm just saying, like, it can happen. Okay.
Actually, long times ago, one of my interview, as interviewer asked, the tunnel got up, but data is not transferring. So what is the issue? So I thought maybe uh, this will affect.
No, see, tunnel got up, but data is not getting transferred.
Yes.
Like, I'll show you. See, if I remove this static root, if I forget putting in the static roots here, okay, I'll remove it from one of these. Okay, suppose I delete it. Okay, now see, is the tunnel up?
Yes.
Will the data get transferred?
So it will not identify after some time
Because,
connection will.
yeah, because if VPC4, if you try to generate traffic from VPC4 or 5 and send it to each other,
Hmm.
okay, it's just like this firewall actually has no route information for this subnet, right?
So after reinitiating the connection, I think it will go down.
No, it will not go down.
Okay.
See, there is no problem here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you simply. Like I was giving you the example, you have one router here, you have another router here. Okay. 10.0.1.0 here, 10.0.2.0 here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me this, if I plug in a cable and I configure an IP address here, and if I configure another IP address here, okay, will connectivity between R1 and R2 work fine? Yes, because if I try to ping this IP,
Yes.
it works fine,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But if this guy here tries to reach this guy, will he reach unless I configure static route or run routing protocol here?
Yes. We need to configure the routing
Yeah, either
protocol.
static route or routing protocol needs to be there, right?
Yes.
So I think probably this was what interviewer was trying to ask you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. The tunnel is up, but data is not getting transferred. Tunnel up means VPN was perfectly negotiated for phase 1 and phase 2, right? So there must be some routing issue. You might not have pointed a static route or a dynamic route. Okay. Most likely he was trying to ask you.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So these are the configuration steps with static, and this is the configuration steps with OSPF, and these are all in the PAN-OS admin guide. You can check it out from there. Okay. You can also see the verification commands like show routing route type OSPF if you just want to look at OSPF routes. Now, for them, like I was telling you, because it's going through VPN, you see the next hop might show up like this. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, also you can test VPN connectivity by using CLI, test VPN ISA gateway and mention the IP address, or you can use this to check whether phase 1 is set up properly. You can check this to check whether phase 2 was set up properly. Sometimes phase 1 might work perfectly fine, but then phase 2 doesn't work. Okay. So in our case, even show VPN flow will show that tunnel is working perfectly fine. Okay.
Okay.
So that's it for.
So we
That's
have
like-
like troubleshoot classes for this for VPN. Suppose if you are facing any kind of issues.
See, you have to check step by step. These are the same things. You check whether phase 1 is being negotiated properly or not. There is no other, individual things that you have to verify.
Mhm. And one
If this
thing.
one is working fine, whether phase 2 is working fine or not. If both of them are working, tunnel is up, whether data. Yeah, you were asking something?
Suppose the other end side, we have a different vendor. Suppose my side is
Cisco.
Cisco. Yes, other side is Cisco or Palo Alto, Checkpoint or other vendor.
It works fine still without any problem. It's just that you have to define the proper profiles on the other end. Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the same type of profile you will have to define if you have used, I phase 1 things, whatever, AES or ESP, all these things should be same.
All things should be same,
Like-
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So no change on the firewall side, on Palo Alto side.
See, Palo Alto side, you can just keep, you have to match the settings.
Mhm.
Okay. The only thing that is going to change is you will use this. Okay. Like in Cisco, you don't make something like this. You define source tunnel, destination, and interface tunnel.
Okay.
But it's completely properly, if you define all these things properly, encryption mechanisms, authentication mechanisms, and all these,
Mm-hmm.
it should not be a problem.
Okay. Okay, Sudhanshu. Thank you.
Fine. I'll end the meeting then. See you guys tomorrow. I will do Global Protect. Or we'll do user ID. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.